happy and you know it. Clap your hands. Yeah! I'm going to include the clap for that.
Yeah.
All right, welcome back. This is episode 2, Deep Dive. We are starting with Metallica, the lifelong favorite of both of us. James and I recorded a pilot episode where nothing got saved, and we talked a lot about Metallica.
Half of it got saved.
We're not going to say who messed up. But yeah, so I think it's worth it to kind of expand on a little bit about the context, because the first song I want to do, I'm going to give it to Mason. I'm going to let him pick. I asked him, what's some of his favorite Metallica songs, and so I want to talk a little bit. What do you want to do? Load? That's what we're doing first. Is that what we said? What did we say?
It was either Wasting My Hate or Fuel.
All right. We're gonna do both today. So
yeah. So
all right, let's start with the controversial pick. All right. So Mason, tell the folks at home why Load is not complete dog shit.
Why Load is not complete dog shit. So the reason that I like it, why I liked it when it came out and continue to like it to this day is that it is an evolution of Metallica as a band. All right. It is very easy to do the same thing over and over and over again and just develop a formula that you know is going to make you money, that you know people are going to like, and to just spit it out there again. And if you do that long enough, you become Nickelback. So this is, Metallica not falling into that trap. And and they did something that was truly brave and courageous, right? Because they took a huge pushback from their fan base because they changed so much, like not just the music, but like stylistically themselves with getting the haircut. And it was almost like, it was almost like all of it together was just like, we're doing something different and new, and we're going to explore this. And I still think that there are some hints of aggression in there. It is still an aggressive album, which is why I want to do Wasting My Hate. It is one of the more aggressive songs on there for a number of reasons, in my opinion. And it's just it's different. It's not just crunching on the guitar, screaming into the microphone, and throwing some melodies in there to change it up. It's just very, very different. And in my opinion, I think that a lot of this stems from, they did the Black Album and they went on tour for 50 years or whatever. And I think that they grew as people on that tour, but they didn't release any new music in the meantime to kind of show it. And so it's a huge change between the two albums because there is no middle ground. And
I think that's a fair point. We have to realize that Metallica made the name for themselves on the road. They believed in touring, and they toured constantly. And then when the Black Album blew up, they toured not just once. There was not just one world tour. It was they toured with Guns N' Roses, and we should probably do a deep dive on the shit show that tour was.
Yeah.
And famously, Hetfield got blown up on that tour, still toured, even though he couldn't play guitar anymore. So he did that tour without even playing guitar. And then he did another tour. I think they toured for, you said 50 years, which is an exaggeration. But
obviously, yeah.
It's not an exaggeration to say that there's not many bands that will tour 3 years straight on the same record.
Yeah, and I think it was even more. I think it was closer to a decade.
No. It was because 91 was when Black Album came out. They took a break, and then Load came out in 96. So I think 91 and 94 they were on the
okay. All right.
Yeah, and I think Woodstock 94 might have been one of their last live shows they played before the break, and it was a real break. They had never been. I don't think they've gone a year without touring up until 94. Yeah. And then 95 they didn't tour. And so it allowed them all to take a step back and see what they want to do. And they looked around and they saw a couple things. It was kind of angry boy music that James and I know a lot about. became mainstream, not just thanks to Metallica, but also thanks to the grunge scene, Nirvana breaking big. And a lot of those bands, there's two bands I want to call out. One is U2. U2 did a complete change of sound with Achtung Baby, and Lars in particular was a huge U2 fan. And U2 successfully did it, and they got a lot of accolades for it. I'm gonna throw out another one. The Smashing Pumpkins also did a very huge change in sound. They're probably one of the only bands that would go through a huge change in sound and become more metal, but they did that while also doing a little bit of electronica stuff. And so they changed a lot. They did a huge sprawling double album, which is why they tried to make Load and Reload a double album. They didn't quite get there, but most of the stuff you hear on Reload was written during the Load sessions. They just went back and finished it later. So they tried to create a double album, broad experiment, and then there's precedent for that goes all the way back to the 60s with the White Album. Bob Dylan's big change from acoustic music to rock music. That's something that every band who can do it should aspire to try and stretch themselves. Hetfield got a little bit in the country.
A little bit.
Kurt got more into blues music. You hear a lot more blues on this record, and they all kind of tried to be their own individuals.
So like these two albums, Load and Reload, are also big components of why Metallica, for me, has maintained as that my favorite band since basically middle school to I'm in my late 30s now, and it ain't even close. It's Metallica and everyone else, right? And a big part of it is because I refer to it as I have like a short attention span, in the sense that I listen to things a lot, delve into them, and then get bored with them and need something different and need to move on to something else. And this plays out over the course of a month or two or whatever. And with Metallica, I could just pick a different Metallica era that happens to fit whatever mood I'm in for that month or 2 months or whatever. And I listen to it, I get really into it, and then I'm like, well, I'm sick of this. And then I keep coming back, and I can keep coming back to different eras of Metallica without Load, without Reload. If they just did Ride the Lightning again, if they just did Master of Puppets again, I would just be sitting there like, why the fuck am I going to listen to Master of Puppets 2? And they would fade, and some other band would step in for me and kind of fill that need. So this era of Metallica really offers a lot of the variety that helps them to maintain their greatness to me.
All right.
You know what I mean?
I think that's well said, man. So let's show for those who haven't listened to this since it came out in '96 and you were arguing with your other high school friends that it sucked. That now's the time to take another listen. So let's start with Mason's pick. Let's do Wasting My Hate. I believe this is track 10 on Load. I can't
remember. It's been a while.
It's been a while. Definitely second half of the album.
Yeah.
So it's a late showing on the album, but I agree with him. It's probably one of the faster songs. So let's do it, man. A little clean tone. What is this pussy shit?
So,
all right.
What I love about that song is that intro is so cool. I mean, I had never really heard anything quite like that before. The way that guitar starts, you know, I did not listen to country music, which is what I'm pretty sure that's where that comes from. Um, but I'd never really heard anything quite like that before, and I was just like really intrigued by it. And then when the very familiar heavy crunchy guitar kicks in, I love it, man. I really like it.
Yeah, this song's a really good blend of kind of the old style and the new style.
Yeah,
He definitely sings very aggressively at points, but yeah, that intro, it's like very clean singing.
yeah.
It sounds like he's kind of singing really far away from the microphone, and which is great because it builds that dynamic when it gets loud. I
Mhm.
love how that kicks in, man. I think the riff's a lot of fun. It's not an angry song. Like in tone, it doesn't make me want to punch a wall, but it's so energetic. It's got a good crunch to it. I like the harmonics on it.
Yeah, yeah.
So let's rewind that now. Let's get back to that. All right, so we got through the chorus there.
Yeah,
Uh,
so
Man, what I love about that, I mean, it's interesting because the complaints I heard about Load were typically like how simple the guitar riffs were.
mhm,
And this song's not much different. Once it starts getting into the verse, it's almost a ska kind of guitar. It's all upstrokes,
yeah,
which is very different for them. But I think it really works with the tempo and the way that Hetfield sings this. It still sounds aggressive to me, even
yeah,
though if you were to put that on paper and put a different singer on it, it would sound like a typical ska band. You
yeah.
might be listening to Suicide Machines or something at that point. So I like that. I like that they added that element.
So one of the things that I love about this song, and one of the reasons that I latched onto it so much, is that like we've talked about Metallica a lot in the past, on the channel and not on the channel. We talk a lot about the aggressiveness of it, and this
Yeah.
is definitely aggressive in a different way.
Yeah.
Um, to me, it's aggressive in an unhealthy internal way. If you really listen to the lyrics, at least the way I interpret them, he talks about singing the smile to you, saying hi, and to me, it's all about putting on that facade. I'm gonna smile at you and pretend like the world is sunny outside while I hate myself on the inside. He talks about not wasting his hate on you.
Oh,
He's
that's
keeping it
interesting.
all for himself. And
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean,
yeah.
this song found me in a unhappy place where I was angry and depressed. Right, angry at the world for no reason, depressed for valid or invalid reasons. Irrelevant. Right, and
Yeah.
And to have a song that kind of spoke to me in that way, about not wasting my hate on other people. I got more than enough to just keep piling it onto myself, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's still something that I struggle with, to these day, to this day, that the whole self pity thing, something goes wrong, and
Yeah.
I don't have time to be mad at other people about it. I'm too pissed at myself for everything that's gone wrong. And this is like step one in the healing process for me when I find myself in a bad spot, right?
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
go put on Wasting My Hate, do some self-loathing, and while that the method of putting the hate internally yourself is probably not the most healthy thing in the world,
No.
having that outlet in the music probably is a little bit better than some of the other alternatives out there.
Yeah.
And that dichotomy of like the going from the really clean guitar where he's good day, how you do, like
Yeah.
to the crunching, I'm not wasting my hate on you, like that.
Yeah.
That switch is
Yeah.
really speaks to me, because that's really, I feel like sometimes the way my mind operates, I'm either
Would you say
happy,
would you say like the
clean-go-lucky.
would you say like that the clean intro might be the outward facing you, and then the
Exactly,
rest of the
yeah.
song is like what you're feeling on
Yeah,
the
yeah, it's
inside?
exactly what it is. It's
Yeah.
like, hey, how's it going? Everything's fine. And
Yeah.
then the internal monologue is,
Yeah.
what did I do wrong? I can't believe this. I did this wrong. Oh my God, I'm the worst person on the planet. I hate myself for doing this. I
Yeah.
can't believe I did this.
Yeah.
I don't live up to these expectations or whatever, right? They're like, but hey, everything's fine. I'm gonna sing that smile over to you.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
it's all good, man.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's really poignant observation on the lyrics. Probably even deeper than I ever thought about this particular song. But it does kind of capture how I feel about Hetfield's songwriting after Injustice for All. Started with the Black Album, even further with Load. Like, hey, when you're young, you punch outward. When you get older, you punch inward. And I think, I guess in Mason's case, you're saying you were kind of punching inward a little bit younger. But I think a lot of people go through that change. And I think as he got older, he was more comfortable, especially lyrically, to punch inward.
Yeah.
And, this is probably not a healthy version of it, but part of expressing an unhealthy part of yourself through music, that is healthy.
Exactly.
Because it is cathartic, and it helped him. It definitely helped me.
Yeah.
Very good, man. Let's get back to it. Let's keep it going.
Real quick.
Yeah.
For what it's worth, there was plenty of punching outwards, as the holes in my mom's walls can attest to.
All right. Very good. Very good. All right. Let's keep punching inward. Let's get back to it. All right. Really hear the bass really well.
I like that part where you pause it, man. Like the music comes down, it all slows down, and then it's like I think that, like we were talking about keeping the hate for yourself, right? Like that's the part where it hits me I have flashbacks to high school, dark places and stuff like that. It's like like the way it all comes down, we're right into the I'll keep it for myself.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
just it hits me, man.
I feel like you can hear a little bit of his country twang on those parts as well, even
Yeah.
though this is more of a traditional vocal, a little bit more in the old style. But I still hear a little bit of his newer range. I would say he definitely expanded his range for this album, and I think it works really, really well.
Yeah, yeah.
One of
And
my
I think it just I remember there being like an interview with them back in the day on MTV or something like that. And I'm pretty sure Jason Newsted said something along the lines of, Hetfield can only sing in this certain range, and that limits us to like the key of E on the guitar.
yeah, exactly.
Or
I
something
remember
like
that. Yes, I remember that.
And I'm like, I don't know enough about the music to know if like this is maybe him trying to expand on that to give them a little bit more flexibility, give them that ability to grow.
Well, in that
and
same
things.
interview, Jason Newsted said, but he's getting better.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
He was giving it. So he was saying, and it's true. He definitely expanded his range on this. Yeah, and we'll probably hear that a little bit more on a different song.
Yeah,
but
and I mean, and for people who have problems with the guitar work on Load, I don't know, man. The guitar on this song is awesome. I love almost every second of it.
Unless Kill 'Em All is your only Metallica album that you listen to, I gotta say, you gotta like this song. I mean, it's not bad. Even if I was a hardcore, like, I gotta kill something metal guy, I mean, it's a good riff. It's fun. It's heavy. I don't see what could possibly be wrong with it.
It moves around. It's not just the crunch, there's more to it. It's interesting to listen to. If you just tune out the lyrics and just kind of listen to the guitar, it's not super repetitive.
Yeah.
It flows well. There's layers to it. There's a lot of cool stuff there. And it's also one of the reasons why this is one of my favorite songs on Load is I don't know that a lot of the other Load songs have it to the level that this one does,
Gotcha. All right, man, let's jump back into
think I'll keep it for myself. Hey!
That's awesome.
Ain't gonna waste my hate, but I'm so quick when they say better to give than to receive. Ain't gonna waste my hate, no, ain't got time to waste my hate on you. I think I'll keep it.
I don't think there's a solo on this.
No.
Keep it for myself. Yeah.
How do you not like a metal song that just ends with the lead singer literally yelling out hate?
I imagine that there are metal fans that also like, for example, Led Zeppelin, Queen, and I just go like, it's as heavy as that, but for some reason they can't accept like Metallica dipped into that. Like, to me, if Freddie Mercury sang this song, it wouldn't sound out of place on a Queen album. And I think Hetfield's approach is a little bit theatrical, like Freddie Mercury, and particularly the way he does like that operatic, the rising and falling of the voice when the music stops. We put bands in a box sometimes, and I think this is a great example of a band who's stepping outside of the box, giving something that old school fans can like, and doing it really well while also giving something new.
Yeah.
So I'll have to clap that out. That was a great pick. Thank you. Any final thoughts on this song before we wrap up and move to the next one?
Yeah, like the kind of last third of the song. Like one of the other things that I like is they hit that low point. Hetfield talks, says the lyric about keeping the hate for himself, and then
Yeah.
I think they do it twice, but like from almost where we unpause it, where it was at like the low point of the whole song. I feel like it has this like frantic feel to it as it builds back up that I really really like, and I think that's another thing that I like connected with as the young angry man, like it's the, bringing yourself low, the like I'm keeping it for myself, right, and then not you've bottled it up, you don't know what to do with it now. I just like feel like I'm looking around the room and the music echoes that, and
Yeah.
it's just awesome. I don't know how you don't like that song. You know what
All
I
right.
mean? It's just
all right. Let's leave it on that. How the
Yeah.
fuck you don't like that song? All right. So hit us up in the comments why you don't like that song, and maybe settle the debate we kind of had as we did this. Is there a cello in the mix on this song? I think there is. Mason doesn't hear it. Come on, metal fans. Come on, music community. Tell me if you hear it too. Or maybe I'm schizophrenic. I don't know.
Yeah.
So, all right. So that's it for this episode. We'll see you next time. More Metallica coming at you.